Casey.
And Lauren.
And this is
Magnum B.I, the podcast where we dive deep into a new topic each week.
Per usual, we're going to add a little bit of comedy, a little bit of banter, and
a mental breakdown.
Yeah. It's not going well in the BI studio at the moment.
I feel like we've started every single episode of season 2 just being like, this isn't working, I'm miserable, the audio is shit, and this is a nightmare.
Because there hasn't been a great one yet.
I keep holding on to hope that it'll work, and I keep making promises we can't deliver on. However, this seems to be the most promising attempt yet, so hello, I hope this sounds good.
I agree. We'll see. If it doesn't, sorry guys, you get what you get.
We really tried.
Oh boy. How was your week? What did you do this week, Lauren?
Well, this week I've been studying for finals. I have been going to work, and I took my rats to the vet, and I found out that they have anxiety.
Woo-hoo, don't we all?
It's been a very eventful couple of days.
Yeah. How much did you spend to find out that your rats have anxiety?
I spent almost $200 on the rats. So
that
to date,
wild.
In the Vulović household, these will be the most expensive animals we have ever owned. Actually, no, that's a lie. My sister's hamster is more expensive because it accidentally destroyed an $800 speaker that my sister had to replace. So we now have a hamster that's worth almost $1,000.
Is it still alive?
Yeah, its name is Chanel. Shout out Chanel.
Of course, Chanel. Of course, Chanel costs like $1,000.
She's an expensive girl with expensive taste.
Yes, she is. Material girl.
Slay.
Boots and shoes.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
So this week, Lauren.
Casey.
This week, we are going to be talking about something that I discovered through a Wikipedia deep dive. Sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I jump on Wikipedia and I learn about things that will stay with me until the end of time. And this is one of them. This is 2 stories of 2 different young women who survived something that not many people ever can say that they survived. I'm going to be talking about 2 real life plane crash survivors.
Holy shit. Real life Yellow Jackets. Let's fucking go.
If y'all haven't seen Yellow Jackets, I want you to, not that like you need to have seen Yellow Jackets to understand what we're talking about, but like X out of this episode, save it in your library, watch Yellow Jackets, and come back later because it is the best show I've ever seen.
I have never been this obsessed with any piece of media. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've been pretty obsessed with a lot of things before, but this is my newest one, and let me tell you, Season 2 cannot get here fast enough. I'm running out of
I'm so excited. Oh my god, I'm like so deep. This is like awful, but I'm so deep in the Yellow Jackets like Reddit subreddit.
The lore.
Yeah, the lore. So this week we're going to be talking about some real life plane crash survivors.
Let's get into it.
Let's get fucking into it, baby. Okay, so it is scary to think about being in a plane crash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Yeah.
Rhetorical question.
I'm here kind of to lay some statistics and help alleviate some fears. I also want to say before we get too deep into this episode, Lauren and I, part of the reason why we're having mental breakdowns, are filming this episode in separate rooms. To try to figure out our microphone situation. So if there's like a delay between our voices, we're going to work on it. Hopefully by the next episode, that won't be a thing, but I just want to make you aware of why that might be happening. Anyway, so it is very, very unlikely that you will ever be in a plane crash, let alone die in a plane crash. Your chances of being, that's nice to know, right?
It's reassuring.
Your chances of being in a fatal car accident are 1 in 101.
Ooh.
Your chances of being struck by lightning are 1 in 15,000. And your chances of dying in a commercial airline crash are 1 in 3.7 billion.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, car crash, 1 in 101. Commercial airline crash, 1 in 3.7 billion. So, needless to say, your chances of ever being in a plane crash are very, very low. However, I am here to tell the story of two young women who experienced something that only 1 in 3.7 billion people ever will.
Holy
Um,
hell.
yeah, the first story is very empowering and beautiful and symbolic, and it's a great, wholesome human story. The second one is also empowering and beautiful, obviously, but it's also very funny. So we're gonna get a
Okay,
little bit of best of both worlds here.
let's do it.
So, the first young woman that we're going to talk about, her name is Juliane Koepcke. Most of this information comes from a 2021 New York Times article by an author named Franz Lids, which I will put in the show
Mm-hmm.
notes, but I just want to shout him out. It was a very in depth article.
Ooh.
Um, Juliane was born in 1954 in Lima, Peru. She was the
Oh.
daughter of two German parents, both of whom worked at the Museum of Natural History in Lima.
Oh, wow.
Um, it's her father was a biologist and her mother was an ornithologist, which is a bird scientist.
Oh, my cousin wants
Her
to be an ornithologist.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Aw.
she does. She loves birds. Shout out, Liz. We love you.
Hey. Her parents met while they were getting their doctorates in Germany, and then they later moved to South America to study the natural environment there. Um,
Ooh.
which like that is my fucking dream to meet someone in a doctorate program who has like similar interests, and then we like move across the globe to like pursue this like niche crazy interest that we have. Like that is so beautiful.
Oh, I would give anything.
Anything. I'm so lonely. Fun fact, there is this species of lava lizard in Peru that is named after her parents.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Wait, that's so sweet.
So they left a lasting impact on the study of the natural world in South America.
Wait, what's
Um,
the lizard's name?
it's like it's oh god, it's like common name is the frost iguana. Um,
Oh.
but like its Latin like taxonomic name is like something crazy, and in it is the word Koepcke, which is their last name, their German last name. So
Oh,
their
that's
German
really
last name is
sweet.
in the name. Isn't that really, really sweet? Yeah.
Oh, they
Um,
do that sometimes with celebrities, you know?
and
Like,
these people deserved it.
I think Beyonce has like a moth or something. I'll have to check that.
The Yonsei moth.
Yeah.
When Julianne was 14, her family left Lima and they relocated to a remote area in the Peruvian Amazonian rainforest, where her
Mm-hmm.
parents founded a research station and conservation area that is still active today.
Oh,
Um,
cute.
but being 14, Julianne wasn't thrilled about moving to the middle of the rainforest. um,
Fair.
yeah, fair. I wouldn't be either. She said, quote, I was 14. I didn't want to leave my schoolmates and to sit in what I imagined would be the gloom under tall trees whose canopy of leaves didn't permit even a glimmer of sunlight.
Oh, jeez.
So she kind of went into the rainforest life with like a bad. She wasn't very hopeful for what this rainforest life was going to bring to her. Of course, she was 14. She wasn't thrilled about leaving all of her friends and moving into the middle of the literal jungle. Like you can understand that.
That's Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't thrilled about pretty much anything when I was 14. It would have taken a lot to
Yeah.
get me excited.
Yeah, a lot is an understatement.
Yeah.
However, once Julianne got out there, she ended up falling completely in love with the forest.
Yay.
Um, she said, quote, it was gorgeous, an idyll on the river with trees that bloomed blazing red. And because of the way she grew up, she said that she was raised as a quote jungle child who learned a myriad of survival techniques that would come very much in handy in the coming years.
Okay, Miss Bear Grylls.
Okay, Juliane.
Okay,
Um,
Julian.
and it is beautiful. It's like she was 14. She did not want to move to the middle of nowhere in the middle of the rainforest. And then once she got there, she was like, "This is like the most stunning place that mankind has ever been able to travel." Um,
Aw.
so though she received her textbooks and her homework through the mail, Juliane had to travel back and forth to Lima to take her exams and finish high school.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, in December of 1971, Juliane was set to graduate high school. So she and her mother
Mm-hmm.
traveled out of the rainforest and they went back to Lima so that Juliane could take her final exams and attend the graduation ceremony with her class.
Nice.
Um, on December 22nd, 1971, Juliane graduated high school. The next day,
Yay.
on December 23rd, they boarded a plane to head back to their remote rainforest research base. Um, Now, it was Christmas Eve when they were flying. And because it was Christmas Eve, all of the airplanes or all of the airlines that they had wanted to fly were fully booked. So they
Oh,
decided to fly.
no.
Yeah. So if that's not a red flag.
Yep.
Um, so they ended up deciding to fly through LANSA, which was an airline with a pretty bad reputation.
Hmm.
Julianne's father had urged them not to fly through this airline. In fact, 5 years earlier, in 1966, an LANSA flight had crashed and killed 49 people. And
Huh.
the year after that, in 1970, the same airline had a flight crash that killed 101 people.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Uh-huh. So, needless to say, Julianne's father was like, please wait a couple days. Like, you don't need to be home for Christmas. Like, please just choose to fly another airline.
Oh,
Um,
that is terrible. I'm just picturing them climbing into like essentially a cardboard box with a lawnmower motor attached to it. And they're like, this is fine. This is
yep.
fine.
And like
Yep.
the janky flight attendant is like, Happy Christmas Eve.
Yep. Yep. They have like a cast on one arm and an eye patch, and they're like, come on in. Water's
I,
fine.
I survived the last crash.
And the one before that. They call me Lucky.
Do you want to sit near me?
I have the best seat in the house. I have the one that doesn't shake when we fall.
Well, you're gonna take back those words in a few minutes.
Oh, great.
So the flight was only supposed to last for less than an hour. It was supposed to be a very quick flight. Um, as a reminder, Juliane was 17 years old at this time.
Mm-mm.
She and her mother Maria were sitting in the back row of the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, about 25 minutes after takeoff, the plane, which was an 86 passenger turboprop, flew into a thunderstorm and began to shake.
Oh my
Uh,
god. I can't. They didn't
luggage.
even make it like 20 minutes.
No, it was supposed to be less than an hour. They got 25 minutes in and thunderstorm shaking.
Oh my
Luggage
god.
and Christmas presents from the overhead compartments began to rain down on everyone on the flight.
Oh,
Um, and then Julianne watched a bolt of lightning hit the right wing of the plane. At which point,
oh,
her mother turned to her and, in an even voice, said, quote, "Now it's all over."
oh, oh no. Oh no, no, no. If my mom did that to me, I would be, oh my god. I think I would go catatonic. I would just shut down. I would
And
fucking lose my mind.
also when your mom is like not nothing against our moms, but like her mom was like an esteemed scientist. Like she knows what's going on. She knows like that this is not good. um,
Mm-hmm.
so everyone starts screaming, and then it went totally silent.
Oh.
The next thing Julianne knows, the plane has split in half, and she is outside of it.
What? What? Wait a minute. It's split in half?
Mm-hmm. Down the middle.
Oh my god.
And she says, quote, "The next thing I knew, I was no longer inside the cabin. I was outside in the open air. I hadn't left the plane. The plane had left me."
Oh,
So Juliane blacked out. And when she woke up, she was laying on the rainforest floor under the row of airplane seats which she had been strapped to.
holy
The mini dress that
shit.
she was wearing had been torn, and she was completely alone.
Oh no. Oh no.
On Christmas Eve, 17-year-old Juliane had fallen 10,000 feet, 2 miles from the sky, and lived.
No fucking way.
She was the only survivor of the plane crash. Given that she had literally fallen 2 miles from the sky, her injuries were very minor. Um,
What?
she had a broken collarbone, a sprained knee, gashes on her right shoulder and her left, and then her one eye was swollen shut, and she had a concussion.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I
But
thought you
she'd
were going to say
fallen
her
two
spine was
miles from the
broken.
sky.
I know. I thought you were going to say her spine was broken or something.
No, she could walk, she could move, she had a broken collarbone, sprained knee, some gashes, her eye was swollen shut, and she had a concussion. And that was it.
Jesus
Um
Christ.
the most serious impairment that she had was that she had lost her glasses and one sandal, and she was nearsighted. So she was really going to struggle without her glasses. Um
Oh god. Yeah, I would be fucked if I lost my glasses and my contact lenses. I would literally be wolf food in like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I think about that. Like, my vision's not that bad, but like in an apocalypse situation, people with like really bad eyesight would be fucked if they like lost their glasses.
Oh yeah, completely. It would just be like a late stage natural selection. We'd be done
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Like fucked. Um,
Yeah.
it's believed that Julianne's impact was cushioned by the thick foliage that she'd fallen into and the row of seats which she was strapped to. She was in a middle seat, so those on either side of her are thought to have acted as a sort of parachute. Um,
Whoa.
and also the thunderstorm, I don't know like meteorology, but it created an upcurrent. So apparently, like her fall was like going against the wind. So like it essentially like slowed her down a lot. So she really just had
Mm-hmm.
luck on her. Like she
Yeah.
was just like lightning in a bottle, for lack of a better term. Like she just got very lucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, it had been raining all night. It was the wet season in the rainforest. So she was totally soaked and covered in dirt.
Ugh.
Um, Once she was able to get up and move around, she was alone in the middle of the rainforest. Since it
Ugh.
was the wet season, there was no fruit to pick or dry wood to start a fire. Um, she was constantly stormed with stingless bees, which stuck to the
Ugh.
mud on her face.
No. Oh my god.
I know. Can
No,
you
not the
imagine?
bees.
Oh,
Oh god. And you're
um,
alone? Oh my fuck.
and you're 17 and your mom just died. And you have and
Huh.
like not for nothing, you have a concussion and a broken collarbone. Like
That
um
is awful. So awful.
she was constantly followed by clouds of mosquitoes. Um
Huh.
Thankfully, she had landed near the river, which along with one bag of candy that she had on her provided her with some sustenance. Um
Mm-hmm.
when she was young and growing up in the rainforest, obviously, her parents had told her that if she ever got lost in the rainforest, she should find water and follow it until she found civilization. And that's
Holy
what she did.
shit. Holy shit.
Like, when you're young and your parents tell you, like, these, like, life lesson things that you're like, I'm never going to need to know that. Like, that's so stupid. Like, this is one that, like, saved her goddamn life.
Yeah. Oh my god. Do you have any like little anecdotes like that that your parents have given you?
Well, I can't really think of one that truly saved my life, but I remember them telling me like if you're ever lost somewhere, stay where you are. Like, don't move. Don't go looking for people because, like, then you'll get more lost. Just like stay.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I was taking self-defense classes through my Taekwondo studio, I learned how to break a man's kneecap. So
Oh, good.
that's my technique. And scream really, really, really loud if I ever try
Don't
if they're trying
don't
to fuck with
cross
me.
Lauren. Don't cross Lauren.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, second degree black belt, don't fuck with me.
Literally. I feel like you could take my ass.
I
In
wouldn't
fact, I
though.
know
That's
you
what
could take my
everyone
ass.
says. That is what everyone says as soon as I tell them. They're like, "Oh, so you're gonna beat me up?" It's like, why would I fucking do that?
All the paperwork you'd have to do.
Respectfully. What?
All the paperwork you'd have to do, like not worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it wouldn't be as cool if I used my powers for evil. I need to have them on the back burner in case anybody fucks with me, and then they're gonna mean
100%.
shit.
And then you're
Yeah,
screaming and breaking kneecaps.
exactly. It's really that easy.
Um, so for 11 days, Juliane waded through the water in search of civilization and food.
11?
11 days, almost 2
Oh
weeks.
my god.
On the fourth day, she came across a seat of the airplane, which still had 3 passengers strapped to it.
No, no. Oh my god, that's so fucked.
Each,
No.
each of the passengers had landed head first, so they were seemingly killed on impact. Um,
Oh,
Seeing that one of them was a woman, Juliane used a stick to poke at the foot to see if it was her mother.
oh.
Um, However, upon seeing that the woman's toenails were painted, Juliane breathed a sigh of relief because her mother never painted her toenails.
Oh my god, dude. No, I
But
cannot.
imagine that feeling. Imagine that feeling.
No, I don't want to. I don't like
I
it.
can't. Like, I literally can't imagine
Ugh.
what that would be like. That would be so. Oh my God. That would just. Oh my God.
Nightmare
Um,
fuel.
Literally. Um, on day 11, in the middle of the night, Juliane came across a camp set up by a group of forest loggers.
Holy
Um,
shit.
she used leftover gasoline to clean her wounds, which, by the way, had been infested with maggots.
No. No, that is actually my
Ah!
worst fear. My worst fear. I cannot fucking stand parasites, bugs, anything like that. I think I would just no.
And she
No.
said too she said something that freaked me out so bad. She was like, this is so gross, but she was like, when I poured the gasoline on them, they all fell out of my wounds like heads of asparagus in a clump.
No, I'm actually gonna throw up. You have to stop. You have to stop. No. No.
Oh,
Casey, I'm not fucking with you. That actually made me gag.
I'm sorry. I'll stop. That's
So
kind of the
bad.
worst we get. I'll say that's like the worst we get in this episode. I promise. It's all kind of uphill from here.
Okay. I'll just stick with that mental image. Thank you.
Sorry. Next time you eat asparagus. Um,
No.
a
Stop
few
it.
hours later, the loggers came back to the camp and they found her. They fed her kavasa, which is a plant in South America. And the next morning, they took her to a village from which she was flown back to safety after 11 days of surviving by herself in the middle of the rainforest.
Holy shit.
Now, after all of this, you might think that Juliane would have grown up and wanted to get as far from the rainforest as like humanly possible.
Reasonably.
But that's not the path at all that she chose.
Of course.
Because she's a bad fucking ass. I love this woman.
Let's go.
Juliane went on to assist the search parties who tried to find other survivors or casualties of the plane crash. They discovered quickly that there were no survivors, and in mid-January, they found the body of her mother.
Oh, that's awful.
I know. Juliane moved to Germany, where she went on to study biology at the University of Kiel, just as her father had.
Mm-hmm.
She later received her doctorate and returned to Peru to study mammalogy, and she specialized in bats.
Holy shit. That's so cool.
I know. She like carried on the family like legacy, you know? Um
That's sweet.
in It's so sweet. In 1989, she married an entomologist who specialized in parasitic wasps. Um
Oh,
and in 2000, which like what a thing to be into. And
yeah, I was
in
gonna say I would never, ever, 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 especially after having a maggot-infested wound on my arm, you would have to hold me at gunpoint to get me to marry an entomologist.
Can you imagine? He was probably
No,
so
dead
fascinated by
ass.
that story too.
Show me your arm.
Um, um, in 2000, after the death of her father, Juliane went on to take control of the research center and forest preserve that her parents had founded.
Mm.
With her father, Juliane worked to expand the preserve from its original 445 acres to a total of 4,000 acres.
Hell yeah! Oh my
Hmm.
god, that's incredible.
I know. She just had such a deep love for the rainforest. Um,
Damn, that's beautiful.
there have been several fictionalized accounts of Julianne's story, and she's been generally disapproving of them and saying that they don't really give a correct account of what happened, and it wasn't really like that. Um, Beside publishing an autobiography in 2011, 40 years after the incident, Julianne has been relatively silent about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, later in life, Julianne said, quote, "For my parents, the rainforest station was a sanctuary, a place of peace and harmony, isolated and sublimely beautiful. I feel the same way. The jungle was my real teacher. I learned to use old Indian trails as shortcuts and lay out a system of paths with a compass and folding ruler to orient myself in the thick bush. The jungle is as much a part of me as my love for my husband, the music of the people who live along the Amazon and its tributaries, and the scars that remain from the plane crash."
Holy
Julianne,
shit.
I fucking know. Julie fucking
Oh,
Ann.
wow.
Um, so she's now known as Dr. Julianne Diller, her husband's name, and she's still alive. She's 68 years old.
Huh.
Um, and she works at a librarian at the Bavarian State Collection of Zoology in Munich, Germany. Um, she is passionate about climate change, the rainforest, and she is still actively involved in lobbying against the industries which attempt to deforest it.
Holy shit. Holy shit. What an incredible woman.
I know, and she was 17. She was a kid.
That is awful. What an absolute nightmare. But what a legend for getting out of it in relatively one piece. Like, oh my god.
She fell 2 miles from the sky.
And then she wandered through the rainforest for nearly 2 weeks.
Yep.
What a woman.
and
What a
and
woman.
she said too, like, I'm not mad at the rainforest. Like, the rainforest saved my life. Like, why would I be mad at something that saved my life? Like, she has such a
Mm-hmm.
positive outlook of it's beautiful. Her story is so beautiful.
Oh yeah,
um
absolutely. I mean, to be honest, the forest saved her life. It, like the leaves and shit broke her fall. I, however,
yeah.
would be suing the shit out of that airplane company for every fucking cent that it was worth.
Oh
Like,
my god, are you kidding me? And I'd get every dime. Well, first of all, that
every.
airplane is no longer in existence.
Good,
Secondly, um
good.
I would give every dime to the forest preserve to
Yeah,
keep expanding
exactly.
it.
In my mother's name, no less. Be like, fuck you
In my
guys.
mother's name. Yeah. Um, and so next, I'm going to tell the story of a woman who had more or less a very similar experience to Julianne.
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
this story, again, as I said earlier, it's also beautiful and symbolic and gorgeous, but it's like also really funny. So I'm just excited to
Okay.
get into it. So our next story is going to be about a woman named Vesna Vulović.
Vesna.
Vesna.
Ooh.
Vesna with the good hair.
Is she Polish?
She's Serbian. So
I
close.
knew it. Eastern European last name.
And she's like the most deeply Eastern European person I've ever heard of in my life.
Oh, I love an Eastern European woman.
Shut up. There's this guy at Red Lobster. He's gay.
Yeah.
He like has a explicit huge kink for like Eastern European men.
Never mind.
Like, I love a Slav.
Never mind.
Anyway.
I can't. The only thing I think of when anyone says Eastern European is like these old meme videos from like 2016 where it was just like people making fun of Russians. I'll have to play one. Yes, exactly. I'll have to play one for you at the end of this episode so you see what I'm talking about.
Have you ever seen Borat?
I haven't seen Borat, but I've seen this guy on YouTube. His name is Boris, and he's just a caricature of a Russian guy, and he's like, "Hello,
yeah,
my name Boris."
Very Borat is very that also.
Oh, I can't wait.
So okay, Vesna Vulović.
Yes.
Vesna was a Serbian flight attendant. She was born in 1950. Mm-hmm. She was a beautiful blonde young woman with a strong Serbian bone structure.
Of course.
She was beautiful too. If you see pictures of her, she was like really stunning.
Ooh.
After completing 1 year of university, Vesna traveled to the United Kingdom to spend some time. She told her parents that she was moving from Eastern Europe to London to hone her English language skills.
Oh, nice.
Which was true. Mm-hmm. But also, it's because she had a deep obsession with the Beatles.
We're going back to episode 21.
Yeah. So right off the bat, Vesna's good.
Oh, what a woman.
She's like 20. She's like obsessed with the Beatles. She moves to fucking England.
That's awesome. She's like, I'm going to meet them. I'm going to touch Ringo.
Yeah. Eventually, Vesna and a friend moved from London to Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. Mm-hmm. She said, quote, "When I told my parents I was living in the Swedish capital, they thought of the drugs and the sex, and they told me to come home at once."
That's so crazy. I would not think, like, Stockholm and, like, drugs and sex.
Me either.
I just think Swedish meatballs.
IKEA.
Yeah. Because that's all there is in Sweden.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
There must be something that we don't know about Sweden. Because, like, I would think Berlin would be like that. You know?
I just think of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Like the red light district.
Yeah.
I think of, like... Weed and ecstasy and clubbing. I don't think of Sweden.
Neither do I.
At all.
Maybe that was more of a 1960 thing, or we're just behind. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've probably done some great restorative marketing.
I'm sure. Yeah, because now, I mean, socialism.
Oh, yeah.
So once she got back home, Vesna had a great idea. If she became a flight attendant, and this is true, both of these were her two reasons for becoming a flight attendant.
Okay.
She could, 1, travel to London once a month, and B, look really cute in the uniform.
She's just like me, for real.
She saw one of her friends who was a flight attendant, and her friend was like, "Yeah, I just got back from London," and she was like, "You look really cute in that outfit." So she was like, "Bada bing, bada fucking boom."
Problem solved. She's got all her little ducks in a row.
Well, there was one problem though with this idea. Okay. Vesna knew at this point that she had a history of low blood pressure. So she wouldn't pass the medical exam to become a flight attendant.
Oh, shit.
Because the altitude fluctuates with your blood pressure.
Oh.
So she had an idea. She's nothing if not a problem solver. Vesna strategically drank an absurd amount of coffee before the medical exam to raise her blood pressure, and she passed.
Holy shit! My first thought was drugs, so she was absolutely on the right track with that one.
She became a flight attendant.
Slay.
In late January of 1972, Vesna boarded JAT Flight 367, which was flying from Stockholm to Serbia, with one layover in Denmark and one in Croatia.
Okay.
Vesna was 22 years old at this point.
Oh, she's my age.
Yeah. No, this is crazy. Vesna actually wasn't scheduled to work that day. Mm-hmm. The airline had confused her with another flight attendant named Vesna.
Oh.
And accidentally put her on the schedule to be on Flight 367.
Because that's just such a common name.
Because all the Vesnas running around right now.
They all look great in the uniform.
I tell ya, that bone structure, girl. But Vesna was not upset that she was accidentally put on the schedule because she had never been to Denmark and she wanted to visit the country.
Oh, nice.
So she saw an opportunity.
Sure.
Side note, I in high school went through a phase where I really wanted to be a flight attendant.
Really?
Because I really like to travel, but like, I mean, obviously it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And flight attendants get to fly. Well, I mean, A, you fly for free for work, and B, you get free flights. Like, when you're not working.
Well, technically you get paid to fly.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, even when you have, like, a week off, you can, like, go fly for free somewhere. Like, I would just love that. However, if you don't know, dear listeners, I am 6'7". Me and planes don't mix very well.
Yeah, it's true. They'd have to make a Casey-sized plane.
Yeah. And I also, like, they're in the middle of the night. They have to go places. I just don't like flying in general. Like, it's not my job. Anyway, so between layovers, the crew had some time to themselves. Vesna wanted to go sightseeing in Denmark, but all the crew wanted to go shopping, so she begrudgingly went with them.
Okay.
At 3:15 on January 26th, 1972, Flight 367 departed from Copenhagen Airport. At 4:01 p.m., so about 45 minutes after takeoff, there was an explosion.
What?
An explosion in the baggage compartment.
What? Someone snuck a bomb on the plane?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
One of the passengers had brought a briefcase bomb on board.
What the why?
So between 1962 and 1982, Croatian nationalists carried out 128 terrorist attacks
Oh my god.
against Yugoslavian targets, such as this airline.
Holy shit.
In fact, the very same day, a bomb had exploded on a train in Yugoslavia, injuring 6 people.
Oh my god.
So this was just like a deeply common thing for these 20 years.
Just another day in the life.
Fucking God, like
those damn Yugoslavians.
I tell ya, I do the same damn thing.
I know this is like deeply problematic, but that just made me think of like a Dr. Seuss creature.
The Yugoslavians?
Yes. Even though I know that that is not the case, I'm thinking like there's a Merkel in my Urkel or something.
There's a Slav in my...
I tell you.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going. Where I'm Slav.
Snob?
Not really.
Slav.
We'll workshop it. It'll be in the episode description. So later, Vesna said, quote, as people were boarding the plane, like she's talking about the people who were boarding the plane, she said, quote, one man seemed terribly annoyed. It was not me who noticed him either. Other crew members saw him, as did the station manager in Copenhagen. I think it was the man who put the bomb in the baggage. Great thought there, Vesna.
I love this woman.
I love her.
I love her so much.
So after the explosion, the plane broke apart midair.
Oh my god.
And Vesna fell down with the rubbish.
Oh, no. Another 2-mile fall. Oh?
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
In a small village in the northern Czech Republic, a man heard an explosion, a crash, and then the lone screaming of one woman.
No. No way. You're literally kidding.
He rushed to the site of the crash. Thank God also that this was in a village, unlike Juliane. Like, this was in a populated-ish area,
at
least.
Oh, my God.
He rushed to the crash to find... This is so not funny, but she was fine.
Yeah.
To find Vesna.
Yeah.
Still strapped to her seat among the wreckage. Her flight attendant uniform covered in blood.
Huh.
Her stilettos ripped off.
Huh.
Screaming at the top of her lungs.
Fair. Fair.
Would you not be?
You know what? This is just like Carrie adapted for the air.
Yeah.
Carrie in the skies.
Imagine if she landed and she was just like not screaming, but she was like, boy. That was quite a plummet.
She's just sitting there. So how about that airline food?
Go to jail.
Yes!
That was so bad.
No, come on. You loved it.
Oh my God. So
Oh,
this
God.
man who found her had been a medic in World War II.
Holy shit.
So he was able to keep Vesna alive until, like, the ambulance arrived at the scene.
Oh my God.
I'd like you to guess. I make Lauren guess a lot in my episodes. So as a reminder, Juliane fell 10,000 feet from the sky.
Fuck.
How many did Vesna fall? Juliane fell 10,000.
Okay, so I'm going to try and do a little logic here. Juliane was in the air for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, because there was it was a shorter distance.
Yeah, so she was in the air for 20 minutes. She fell 10,000 feet, 2 miles. I'm going to go, since she was in the air for 40 minutes, 4 miles for 40,000 feet.
33,000. Nice.
Fuck yeah!
33,330 feet.
Jesus Christ.
Can you do mile math?
I'm going to say 3 point something.
6.31.
Fuck!
6.31 miles from the sky.
Lived?
And she lived, and she was screaming when she landed.
I mean, what else would you do?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, she was, like, conscious and screaming.
Holy fuck.
6.31 miles.
6.31.
She holds a Guinness Book World Record for the longest surviving the longest fall without a parachute.
That is a hell of a consolation prize.
We'll get to it at the end, though. It's actually very nice how you'll see.
Oh.
So Vesna's survival is a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
But it's often attributed to, one, like Juliane, Vesna was strapped into her seat.
Right.
Two, she fell at this miraculous angle. Mm-hmm. Like the fuselage just happened to fall at this really particular angle that spared a lot of the burden.
Right.
Three, like Juliane also, there was foliage in the forest, and the terrain on which she fell was snowy.
Oh, wow.
And she also landed on a food cart, which broke some of her fall.
Holy shit.
And four, her goddamn low blood pressure.
You're shitting me.
So she passed out immediately as the fuselage depressurized midair.
Right.
When it cracked in half.
Right.
Which kept her heart from literally exploding on impact.
No fucking way.
So because of that low blood pressure that she had to lie about to become a flight attendant, her heart didn't burst.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so cool.
I know.
Oh my God. So basically, like, is it kind of similar to how, like, if a diver goes too deep, they'll get the bends and it'll kind of fuck them up? Is it like kind of the inverse thing?
I think like the really quick depressurization.
Yeah.
And then like gradual pressure is
repressurization.
Repressure, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah.
fucking physicist or whatever, but like, yeah, I think it's just like the low blood pressure kept her heartbeat in a way that was like steady enough that it didn't like go haywire and explode.
Holy fuck.
Yeah,
I
know.
I think there's actually a Mythbusters episode on this. They tested it to see like if this was like an urban legend or not, and they proved that she could live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was fine.
It was chilling.
So following her crash, Vesna spent days in a coma.
Yeah.
Her injuries, for obvious reasons, were much more severe than Juliane's.
Yeah.
Her skull was fractured and hemorrhaged. She broke both legs.
Oof.
3 vertebrae, one of which was completely, like, obliterated.
Oh.
Like just
Vaporized.
crumpled, like, vaporized.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
She broke her pelvis and several ribs.
Whew.
And she also experienced severe amnesia.
Yeah.
So the last thing she remembered was greeting, for her entire life, like whenever she thought back to this incident, the last thing she remembered was greeting passengers as they boarded the plane. And then the next thing she remembered was speaking to her parents in the hospital room 1 month later.
Holy fuck.
So, like, yes, she was in a coma for several weeks, but there was like a month period that she just doesn't remember at all.
Yeah, I mean, trauma.
Yeah, that's right. Like, yes, traumatic brain injury, like her skull was cracked and hemorrhaged, but also like trauma.
Yeah,
Like,
both kinds,
yeah.
physical and mental, babe.
Yes. So upon in the hospital, upon a doctor showing her a newspaper about the crash, she apparently became so panicky that she had to be tranquilized.
Well, for good reason.
Yeah.
She probably saw a picture of the plane and was like immediately screaming bloody murder again.
Yeah. So her recuperation lasted about 16 months.
Wow.
Upon boarding a flight to Yugoslavia to continue her treatment, so the first flight she was taking since this incident,
Oh, no.
doctors offered her sleeping medication to help calm her nerves, but she turned it down.
Oh, my God.
She reported since she didn't remember the crash, she was totally unafraid of flying.
Are you dead ass?
In fact, in 1972, 1 year after the crash,
No.
Vesna contacted her employer to say that she was ready to return to work.
She's a legend.
She was like, hello, I am ready to go.
I'm Vesna. I'm ready to fly.
Feeling better now. Wind can take off.
Holy fuckaroo.
They turned down her offer.
Well, surprise.
Because they thought that her presence on a flight would draw too much attention and freak passengers out.
I thought it would be like, that's like a good thing, though.
Yeah, wouldn't you feel comfortable?
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, she's a good luck charm.
And she loves this airline so much that she came
That she's back.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to fly Vesna Airways.
Vesna Air.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, the airline gave her a desk job negotiating freight contracts, which like also I love that she went from like flight attendant, which like is not to say like that's not like a tough job, but it's a very like customer service job.
Yeah.
To like negotiating contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were like, we can trust you, girl.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, she do be standing in the airway.
Yeah. She became a national hero in Yugoslavia, and she garnered a reputation as the, quote, Cold War heroine in the Soviet Union.
That is so cool.
And that's like the name of my band, by the way.
That's
Cold War heroine.
badass.
The man who found her in the wreckage and called the medics and gave her, like, first aid, he had a granddaughter 6 weeks after the crash, and the girl was named Vesna.
Slay.
Vesna continued to fly regularly throughout her life, and reported that other passengers... Well, this is back to what you said. She reported that other passengers always were surprised to see her on board and then asked to sit next to her. Because, like, you're a fucking good luck charm.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen to people.
Yeah, they're like, I trust you. You lived. Like, you got to be doing something right. Like, if it's religious or if it's just karma, you're like, yeah, I'm sitting next to Vesna.
Yeah, I want to know Vesna.
Also, this is unrelated, but also the image of, like, a woman strapped to a plane seat, covered in blood, screaming, surrounded by plane wreckage. Awesome idea for a painting.
Yes.
I can picture that, and it is, like, so fucking crazy looking. I want to do that now.
And first of all, her bone structure. Secondly, her stilettos stuck in the snow next to her.
And she's just sitting there, like, screaming her head off, covered in blood.
You should do that.
I think I might.
That'd actually be really cool.
We'll see.
But make it, like, sexy.
No.
Oh, you're thinking, like, gore.
I'm thinking, like, terrifying.
Oh, I'm thinking, like, oh, Vesna.
Ew.
Not like porn, but like...
She's covered in blood. I know what Casey's into.
She has it's 1971, so she has there's a cigarette holder on her armchair.
Oh my god, you're thinking like a 1970s pinup?
Yes. But she's like,
We'll do two versions.
I fell 6 miles.
We'll do the female gaze and the male gaze.
Yeah, good idea. She went on to marry a mechanical engineer in 1977, but then they divorced in the early 1990s.
That's poignant.
Because her husband disapproved of her chain smoking.
Okay.
She became active in anti-government protests, but always avoided arrest because of the negative attention that her imprisonment would bring. So though she struggled a lifelong limp, Vesna later told reporters that she didn't think of the crash every day. And she adamantly declined therapy to help her cope with it.
Whoa.
She rarely did interviews, and she declined offers to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show and BBC.
What?
Saying that she was just tired of talking about it.
You know what? That's fair.
It's fair, but also, like, imagine, like, you fell fucking 6.3 miles, and you're just like, I'm just tired of talking. Like,
Well, she also probably doesn't remember it. She was unconscious.
She doesn't. She literally doesn't. Yeah.
I would love to read autobiographies by both of these women.
Well, the first woman has an autobiography. I think Vesna might. I'm pretty sure she does. I know Juliane does. So in 2008, Vesna did grant one interview.
Oh.
And in it, she said, quote, "Nobody ever expected me to live this long." And she attributed her recovery to Serbian stubbornness and a childhood diet of chocolate, spinach, and fish oil.
I fucking love her. I love her. I want to be her.
I love Vesna. I need to show you a picture of her. She's so, she's exactly what you think she is.
Okay, I'm ready.
Vesna died in her apartment in 2016. Eerily, she died on the same day, like not, obviously 2016, so not like the same day, but the same date, December 23rd, which Juliane graduated high school.
Holy fuck.
Isn't that kind of just like eerie?
I don't like that.
Yeah, that just makes me feel kind of weird.
Ew, spooky.
But this is the end of the story, and it's my favorite part of the story. I like teared up a little bit reading this part.
Oh, okay.
So remember that Vesna moved to London in her young adulthood because she was obsessed with the Beatles.
Yes, Beatlemania.
Beatlemania. In 1985, Vesna was given a Guinness World Record for surviving the highest fall without a parachute. At a ceremony gala in London, the award was given to her by Sir Paul McCartney.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So she got a moment to get this award from Sir Paul McCartney.
It was all worth it.
I know. Well, I don't know. But so those are the stories of Vesna Vulović and Juliane Koepcke, two incredible young women who survived something that probably the smallest handful of people in the world can ever say that they survived when they were very young.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. That's a good one, Casey.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Let me just show you a picture of Vesna really quick.
Ooh, okay. Slay.
Vesna Vulović.
Now we get to do the opposite of last episode where I get to describe her to you.
Oh,
to
that's
the
smart.
audience.
That's smart. Okay.
Oh, you're kidding. Is that her?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Describe her to me.
Okay. She's got a blonde haircut that is like Karen, but not Karen. Beautiful.
Karen would make it 1971.
Yeah, but it's chic. And she has these beautiful eyes. She kind of looks like Twiggy in a way.
Right? Yeah.
Like she's got that look about her. And she's very pretty.
And like the dark under eye mascara.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
the Serbian look. Like that's a Serbian woman.
She's the it girl.
Yeah.
She lived.
And then this was her later
Oh,
in life. Yeah.
what a woman. She seems so sweet.
Vesna Vulović.
That is so fucking cool. Wait. Go back. That's her with
Yeah,
Paul.
look, her and Paul McCartney.
Oh, we'll put that on the
Oh,
Instagram.
that makes me so happy.
That's a
Yes,
cute
please.
picture.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these stories, Lauren.
I did. That was great, Casey.
Quick story before we depart for the evening.
Okay.
I know I've been talking like so much, but so I went vegan at the beginning of this month, right?
Yes.
And it's suddenly become my whole personality.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. So I've been vegan for 17 days now.
17 days!
Yeah, 17 days. 17
It feels
days.
like it's been forever.
I know. Tell me about it.
Literally every single time we go out to eat, he's like, I'm vegan. And it's like, shut up. It's been 2 weeks.
Like, what do you have here that's vegan? They're like, this is a fucking diner. Like, nothing.
We have potatoes and toast.
That's what I get. Anyway, so my Nana, who you've met, my grandmother.
I love her.
She invited me and my family over for dinner on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And I said to her, by the way, like, please don't plan around me. Like, I will bring my own food. I'll pick at the sides. Like, I don't want to be rude. I just want to, like, tell you I'm vegan, so I'm not eating meat or eggs or dairy. Mm-hmm. That's how I described it to her. Mm-hmm. And she said, oh, okay, no worries. Will you eat egg whites?
Oh.
And I said,
Nana.
no, like, I'd rather not. Like, I don't really do eggs. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I'll make fish.
Oh.
And
Nana.
I was like, okay, thanks.
Did you break your streak for her?
I'm going to on Sunday. I'm going to eat fish on Sunday.
I don't blame you.
But then she, like, sent me this, like, long list of things she was going to do. She was like, I'm going to cook the green beans in vegetable oil instead of butter.
Oh.
And I'm going to marinate the potatoes in Italian dressing. And I'm going to, like, she just, like, went on this whole, like, she's doing a bunch of things for me, which is, like, so kind. And I appreciate
really
it so much.
Sweet.
But also, like, and I mean this with so much love because it's so nice of her. But it's, like, in what universe do you think that I, like, don't eat eggs or dairy, but I eat fish? Like,
it's because fish are less cute, that's why.
it's also, like, I think it's a Catholic thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Because Catholics, like, for some reason, like, don't qualify fish as meat.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Because of like Lent or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
My Satanic Temple membership doesn't cover that.
No, that wasn't part of the. That
No.
wasn't in the info package.
No, it wasn't. It also wasn't at the goat sacrifice, so I didn't pay attention.
So what is your case for next week, Lauren?
So next week, I'm taking a look at a topic that I can say with some confidence has touched the lives of pretty much every single girl I know that is my age, and probably every single woman that has been alive for as long as women have existed, but more colloquially within the past, like, I don't know, what is it, like 10, 15 years, I would
20,
say?
maybe
20? Yeah, since the 2000s.
Probably since the 90s, though. But
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No,
But
you're right. I'm going to be talking about the pro-Ana movement and tangentially Eugenia Cooney. And for those of you who do not know, the pro-Ana movement is I would say an internet-based phenomenon which took the disordered eating practice of anorexia and made it into this trendy little moment that kind of enraptured teen girls and completely took over the entirety of the fashion sense from the 90s and 2000s and weaponized it in a really crazy way.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about diet culture next episode, a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. Yes. So stay tuned and we'll unpack that together.
I'm really excited to talk about it. I kind of mentioned to Lauren, I was on Tumblr a lot as a teenager, and I always came across pro-Ana stuff. And even back then, I was always like, this makes me feel really bad. I was like, I don't like this. So I never engaged with it in any kind of way. So I'm excited to hear like some more specific stuff about it.
You're very lucky. You really dodged a bullet there.
I did.
Because I didn't even see the stuff on Tumblr. I just was surrounded by it as a teenage girl in the early 2000s. It was like, you have to be skinny or you're not beautiful.
Ugh.
So we're gonna get into that.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not excited, but I'm interested.
Good discussions will be had,
Yes.
methinks.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that, and we'll check it out next week.
Yeah. Follow us on Insta, TikTok, at Magnum B.I pod.
YouTube.
Oh, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Email us.
Please don't follow us in real life. I will break your kneecaps.
She will. Goddamn will she. She'll scream and kick.
And you won't like it.
As a girl does.
As one does. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And as per usual, Magnum B.I. Bye.